I'm Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a drive.
2019 Porsche Panamera.
GTS Sport Turismo with launch control. Oh my God.
That's pretty good for the wet too.
Yeah, it is. That's really good.
So this is a wagon.
Yes, it is. Sport Turismo means wagon because nobody thinks wagons are cool, so nobody wants to use the name wagon.
And this doesn't look as wagony as the E63S Mercedes.
This is sneaky wagon.
So it's like barely not a Panamera sedan.
That's exactly what this is.
Horsepower and torque.
453 horsepower and 457 pound-feet of torque from a 4-liter twin-turbo V8.
So this is not as fast as the E63S wagon we drove.
It is not.
But there is a faster Panamera Sport Turismo than this.
Oh yeah, there's a turbo, and then there's a turbo SE hybrid as well with nearly 700 horsepower.
Okay, so this would be more of a comparison for an E53 wagon, hypothetically.
Hypothetically for the performance, yes. Not quite for the price.
Okay, we'll get to that later.
Yes, we will.
So give this a little boot through cliche.
All right, here we go. Full send. Oh my God, this is so good in the wet. It gets really squirrely, but it's so fun. It feels super rear-wheel drive, but it is all-wheel drive.
And then we've got that great Porsche traction control system.
Yeah, we do. It handles incredibly well. I feel like I'm in a race car. Like just straight up, every time I get into a Porsche 911, Panamera, whatever it is, I'm super low to the ground. My eye level is like just over the steering wheel. It's incredible.
Even in a Cayenne.
Yeah, I love Porsche driving position. Nothing else beats this until you get to like supercars like McLarens and stuff. I just really want to emphasize how low you sit. There's no other cars like that on the road. But let's move on. And if you're watching without subscribing, just do us a favor, hit the subscribe button.
We only post 2 videos a week, so you're not going to get a crazy amount of notifications, and it means a lot to us.
And hit the notification bell.
Let's start with the looks, because this is one of the best looking wagons.
It's a Porsche wagon with a V8.
Okay, let's start with the back end.
Or should we start with the color?
Color, okay, yeah, smart. So what kind of green is this green?
This is called Mamba Green Metallic.
Not something I would expect for a Porsche wagon, but it looks unreal.
Oh yeah, everybody stares at this on the road. You get so many looks. I love it.
They have some very good colors.
Yeah, and guess how much this color costs?
$7,000.
$950. That's a bargain.
Canadian.
Yeah, that's right.
That's less than a Volkswagen paint. I'm just really excited that people are putting cool colors on cars again.
Oh yeah, and this really stands out. Nobody really does greens. I think greens are starting to come in, like Audi did it. I think there was like a Sonoma green and stuff.
But Porsche's always had the best greens.
Yeah, they have.
And Dodge Challengers. So let's talk about the shape of this wagon.
Okay, so it is not super wagon-like.
You're not gonna get as much room for boxes in the back.
Box test.
5, 6, 7.
And our newest box test guy, CF Drive Co. Get your own box on patreon.com/thestraightpipes.
So obviously they give up some practicality for a cool shape, kind of like the Volvo wagons as well.
Yeah, so I would prefer to have my dog Rex in the E63S wagon just because it's a flatter back.
Do you think they could have built a better shape for this though?
It wouldn't have been as sleek if they did anything differently.
I think this is the shape they should have gone for when the Panamera came out. Because remember the first one was like that weird hunch. Nobody really knew what it was.
The first one was very weird.
This would have been the best shape. But we have it now, no problems. It's
I love
very
this.
cool.
Yeah, this is super cool.
And we also have a spoiler that pops out in the back.
Yeah, right at the top. Little spoiler.
And the rest of it pretty much looks like a regular Panamera.
And if you get the regular Panamera, which you can get in GTS trim, you get that really cool turbo spoiler that opens up the Transformer style.
Oh yeah, this doesn't have that.
No.
It'd be cool to add that, but it's
I know, just like a giant wing on top.
I would rather have the wagon than the Transformer spoiler, but just barely.
100%.
Oh, and for the front end, this does have those Porsche Panamera headlights that I really like that are the full X.
Oh, the X pattern?
Yeah, because every Porsche headlight is slightly different. This is my favorite.
Overall, I think this thing just looks really, really good. Way better than the sedan, even though the sedan looks good in this generation.
It almost looks like a lowered Macan.
Yeah, kind of.
Sometimes. It's so weird, but it's top-notch looks.
But I would take this over Macan for sure.
Oh, you know what other little thing I like about the looks in this?
What's that?
The black door handles.
That is an additional option.
It's just such a good-looking car.
It is, but my least favorite part are these particular wheels. But you can get way nicer wheels, obviously, because it's Porsche. You just have to pay.
Oh yeah, the website customizer is very good for these.
And by the way, it recently even got better. So here's exactly how I would spec mine.
And here's exactly how I would spec mine. Which one is better? Leave a comment below. Team Yuri or Team Jacob?
Or just go on Instagram, follow us on Instagram, Yuri Teresham, the Straight Pipes. Vote there too.
Yeah, vote on our stories.
And now that we're done with looks, today's sponsor.
Vincero watches.
I've got my Kairos automatic, because yeah, Vincero makes automatics.
I've got my Bellwether in silver and blue, and the reason I'm wearing it is because I recently wore it to my stepbrother's wedding in Dominican because it matched my outfit with the blue pants.
It did look pretty good, those blue pants.
And then I also wore a Vincero watch to my wedding. Here's a picture of that because the rose gold matched my rose gold ring and the brown on the belt.
So you're pretty dedicated to Vincero then.
They look good, what can I say?
They do.
Okay, we've got a coupon code for this month.
Yes, we do. 15% off your entire order and free worldwide shipping.
VinceroWatches.com/pipesmay.
All right, let's get into how fast this is because it's so fast. Oh, it sounds so good too.
It sounds good, but it's subtle.
It is subtle.
You don't hear as much when you're inside the cabin compared to an E63S. So if you have sensitive ears, it's not going to drive you nuts all day, even in Sport Plus.
Like Ralph, my freaking ears.
My freaking ears. Yo, my ears are straight up damaged from some of these cars.
I think it was actually the Hellcat that damaged them.
Yeah, he revved it up when I was behind and not expecting it.
Hey.
So my ears have hurt for like 8 months.
I had to do what I had to do. So there's no turbo lag. This does have 2 turbos, but it doesn't matter because it also has a V8. So the V8 kicks in, the turbos kick in, and everything is just glorious.
It's very smooth power. It doesn't really like kick you back in your seat unless you're doing launch control.
Excuse me?
See, the head test. If this was a Tesla in ludicrous mode,
Fair enough.
that's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. If it had 700 horsepower, your head would probably be back in the seat.
Yeah, probably, exactly.
But there is no lag, and we do have an 8-speed PDK, which is lightning fast. And then if you put in Sport Plus, which we can adjust the modes with our steering wheel dial, it shifts even faster.
Then we've got the button, so we get 20 seconds of full boost.
Yes, Sport Response. Boom, there's in the gear, and then we're off.
So back to the backfires and the sound. Just like the Cayenne Turbo, we get that in Sport and Sport Plus, where the Carrera T, we only got that in Sport.
That's right, and the modes are also adjustable and customizable through the infotainment system, and we have our Sport exhaust, which is standard on all GTSs. And so like I said earlier, this is all-wheel drive, but it feels like almost 100% rear-wheel drive. The way this thing handles, nothing else handles like this. Like, the A7 was already really good, but it still felt like it understeered just a little bit. This, in comparison, feels completely rear-wheel drive.
But we already know that Porsche is cheater mode.
I know, it is. It is, and I need to emphasize that because nothing handles...
A lot of people aren't going to get a chance to drive one, but they aspire to own one.
Yeah.
And we just want to tell you that, like...
This is an incredible feat of engineering, basically.
Yeah, no matter which Porsche you're getting, the handling is always nuts.
And this does have rear wheel steering. Like, that's the kind of stuff that like really drives the thing and makes it like just so good.
How does the rear wheel steering work on this model?
So basically, like every other model, at lower speeds it turns the opposite way, at higher speeds it turns the same way, so it's more stable. And we also have air suspension, which is standard on the GTS. I like to keep it in low because it looks the most gangster. And Sport Plus, the stiffest mode, is not that stiff. I had no reason to switch this into comfort ever.
You're 100% right. I think this is the best overall for normal people.
Yeah, the GTS is always that sweet spot in the Porsche lineup, always.
And in comparison to the E63S wagon, I know we say that a lot, but I think we kind of have to. Like, that thing was way more stiff, way more race car.
It was. Well, I wouldn't say more race car. I would say more stiff and it had a higher driving position. This feels more race car.
Okay, but then if you heard it drive by or you're driving it, you'd feel more race car behind the wheel.
No, behind the wheel, I feel more race car in this.
But obnoxious race car, like...
Okay, yeah, but
you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but race car, like driving position, seating position, I feel like I'm in a race car in this. Whereas the E63S, a little bit higher, a little bit more wagony.
More goon race car.
Yes,
more
for
goon.
sure.
More goon.
Yeah. This is way less goon.
We're trying to come up with new words to describe stuff as automotive journalists for millennials.
Yeah, instead of talking about on-center feel and turn-in
and playfulness,
and
but
direct,
we still will.
Yeah, oh yeah. We're gonna hit you with that directness. Let's talk about the steering, because that's actually one of my complaints. I think the steering ratio could have been improved a little bit, just a little bit tighter, or make the steering wheel a little bit smaller.
I did notice that it felt a little light.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
I expect a little bit more aggressiveness.
That's it. It goes when you move it, but like just a little bit tighter would have been nice.
But if you account for everything, it being a little quieter, a little bit more subtle, that kind of makes perfect sense.
It all makes sense, and it's a wagon. I totally get it. Now let's get you into the driver's seat so you can experience some real launch control.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
Oh, it's the best.
I like this a lot.
Yuri, send it. It's not quite as violent as the E63S, but it's still so stupid fast.
Okay, and if we wanted to get a really good launch, what is the Continental recommended tire?
The Conti Sport Contact 5P.
Yeah, compared to the E63S launch, this felt less stressful, but almost as fast.
Yeah, exactly. 0 to 100 kilometers is 4.1 seconds in this, and in the E63S wagon, it was in the 3s. And I looked up the 911 GT3 just out of curiosity. That does it in 3.9. This is 0.2 seconds off a GT3. That's crazy.
And I think that's good because if you wanted to put your business buddies in the back and launch control them, they probably wouldn't be too shocked.
Yeah, you have no excuses to ever be late for a meeting in this.
Now let's talk about driving people in the back seat.
Okay, so the rear seats are incredible. They are more buckety, more race car feeling than most other sports cars in the back.
Yeah, they're full buckets in the back. They've got memory seats heated and cooled.
Yeah, memory seats on every seat in this car.
Better than most front seats.
Yeah, love it. And I fit back there super comfortably.
You could probably fit back there with a full suit on.
Oh yeah.
Beat everybody on the way to the meeting, to the Kelseys or the Montanas or wherever you go.
You'd probably go to Milestones in this. I feel like this is a Milestones car. The craziest thing that I noticed while driving this is that this has a 90-liter fuel tank, which is like 9 liters less than my Ford Raptor.
I think normal cars are about 45 liters, correct?
Yeah, like 45 to 60 liters is pretty average. 90 liters.
That's going to be a painful fill up.
It is.
Let's talk about the rest of the interior.
Yeah, okay, so super soft touch everywhere. Materials, second to none, as always in a Porsche.
Pretty much exactly the same as every other Panamera we've driven inside.
Yes.
So it doesn't have rewinding satellite radio stations like the new Turbo Cayenne had,
Which is kind of hilarious.
but everything else looks very similar.
Yeah, because the Panamera generation is going to get updated very shortly in the future.
And then we still can't control our favorites through that steering wheel shortcut button.
But we can control a bunch of other things like our exhaust system and stuff.
And we can go forward or back through tracks, but there's no point of seeking through 300 channels. The gauges are the same as that Cayenne Turbo we drove. It does have that night vision, which is super cool because it shows actual living things and highlights them.
Yeah, people, deer, and all that stuff.
And we also have all our gloss black right here.
I'm getting slightly more used to it, but I still don't like it. I'm getting used to the ghost buttons.
I still keep turning up the volume and accidentally scrolling through my scrolly wheel.
Oh yeah.
I like the older hard button.
So did I.
I really like the lights around the speaker grills.
Yeah, they're really nice, and then you also get it up here as well.
It's, I think, more glow in this than any other Porsche we've driven.
Yeah, it's the brightest for sure.
Then we've also got piano black buttons for our lights, our locks, our windows, our seating adjustment.
Yeah, the window ones bother me the most because you touch that all the time.
Yeah, especially if you want to put up your automatic peasant blockers.
Yeah, we do have them in the back. Shout out.
How about our non-panoramic but double sunroof?
It's really nice.
I like that it's all black at the top.
Yeah, it's about as far back as they could have gone for a wagon.
Apple CarPlay, Android Auto.
No, we still do not have Android Auto, only Apple CarPlay.
How about the visors?
I don't know, let's find out. Ooh, very fancy feeling.
3, 2, 1. And we don't have a double visor. I think
No.
this is the first Panamera to fail the gimmick test. Medium cup of coffee fits. Don't have a small on me.
Looks like it'll fit.
It's not a small day today. So I guess I should probably give it a little boot through cliche to confirm that it handles really well.
Yeah, you should.
I really like this. It handles like a Porsche.
Like a 911.
And the traction control is very good.
Yeah, it is. As always in every Porsche.
Lets you have just enough fun and keep you very safe with most of the stuff on.
And then you can change all the modes and stuff and soft knock your suspension and whatever you want.
So I think that pretty much covers most of the Panamera, GTS, Turismo Sport?
No.
Sport Turismo.
Yes. Except the assistance package which this has.
Hit me with it.
So this actually has a driving assistance package, so it actually does drive you by itself on the highway. It's pretty good, not the best, but the best that I've experienced in a Porsche. I think it's called InnoDrive or InnoPorsche or something like that. So it actually does have traffic jam assist, but it'll still prompt you to put your hands on the wheel below 60 kilometers an hour.
Is that the last of it?
I think that's it.
Price.
Yeah, that's the big one. This starts at $153,300.
And it's sitting at
$182,840 with options.
Canadian.
Yeah, so the one option that we have is it's a wagon, and that costs you an additional $7,100 above the regular sedan.
Okay, this is very expensive. However, you'd be silly not to get this in a wagon, I think.
Oh yeah, if you're debating between this and the regular Panamera, the $7,000, that's a wash. Get this.
Because it's so much more rare, it's so much cooler.
It's way cooler. This gets so much attention on the road. This gets more attention than when I'm driving a 911.
And I don't think this looks any worse than a Panamera sedan.
No, this only looks better.
In every way, and for everyone's opinion. No,
Yes.
I don't think anyone in the world can say this looks worse than a Panamera sedan.
Let us know in the comments, and if you do, you're wrong anyways.
So the price of this compared to the E63S wagon that we drove,
It's a lot more for this one.
that one was like 120 Canadian or something.
And that was almost fully loaded.
But I guess that would compete performance-wise with the turbo version of this instead of the GTS,
Exactly.
which is probably even more expensive.
It is.
Oh,
You can option that out into the 200s.
that'll be very fun to drive.
It would be. And the Turbo SE hybrid would be even crazier because that's like nearly 700 horsepower in this. And it's
God.
a plug-in hybrid, so I think you still get green plates.
So where does this fall in line with the list of fast wagons that exist here and maybe not in North America?
I still think I would take the E63S over this, but this is incredible. This is the same level, but I just prefer certain things to that one.
This is the more subtle version.
Exactly.
However, also the more fancy version.
And this handles way better.
But then the drawbacks are you don't get that loud exhaust, and
No,
then
you
you don't
don't.
get drift mode.
Yeah, exactly. But this by itself already kind of feels really drifty, so I don't think you're really losing out on that much.
So how about the RS6 wagon? We don't have that. I think we're supposed to get it in North America.
Apparently in 2020, 21 or something.
If you live in a place that has both, can you please tell us in the comments?
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait for that Audi one to come. I feel like it'll sound better than this one, but this one will still out-handle it.
Looks-wise, performance-wise, pretty much completely destroys anything from Volvo.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What else has a wagon?
That's pretty much it.
All right. But on that note, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Check out patreon.com/thestraightpipes. Join our YouTube membership for early access to videos and a bunch of cool stuff.
And Teespring for cool shirts, and check out vincerowatches.com/pipesmay. Get a cool watch that matches your nice outfit.
Do it.
I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive. This is a subscription break. Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe right now. Subscribe. We didn't do that.